Welcome back to another episode on how to write and develop a melody. Or actually, how not to get stuck writing a melody. In this short video series I give you simple and hands-on tips for writing and developing your own melodies. Let's dive into the technique of transposing your melody. Even though the examples may not be in your favorite style, the techniques that I show are used in practically any kind of music, ranging from singer-songwriter to electronic music, and from classical music to rock. Here we have our melody and C Dorian chord progression from our last two episodes. Right now the melody stays stationary, it doesn't change at all, while the chords, they do. One of the most tried and true ways of changing a melody is to let it follow the underlying chord progression or harmony. What you then do is literally move all the notes up or down. This technique is called transposing a melody. Here's an example. Maybe you've already noticed, but the last notes of my melody are not everywhere the same. Because actually it should always go down with a skip of a third. I had to change some of the last notes because a couple of them just did not sound good. So instead of a third, I moved them down with a step. When you transpose a melody, you have two options, which is to do a relative or a literal transposition. When you do a relative transposition, you stick to the notes in the key, and some of the note distances may change and vary. When you go for a literal transposition, the intervals stay the same always. Most likely you will need to add a lot of sharps or flats to make things correct. Often the relative way of transposing is preferred, because this just sounds a little bit more natural. In the previous example, the transposition literally follows the chords, but we can create some variation by transposing the melody differently on each chord. And we could even use contrary motion between the melody and chords. What that means is that when the melody goes up, the chord goes down, and vice versa. Let's hear what that sounds like. With some very easy adjustments, we went from a boring and very repetitive melody to something that's lively and colorful. And this is a great starting point for developing your music. Don't wait with writing new melodies, and don't forget to like and share this tip if it was useful to you. And for now, see you next time.